Yahweh Basham, Yoshai Basham, Akakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach us this truth from the Bible. Salutation to the hopeful elect scattered abroad amongst the nations who look like the nations. I am Banaya. So this is fair use. I'm going to be playing 3 videos. And they are not for gain, so to speak. They are for just for edification. Okay. Teaching. I'm making nothing from this, okay? So I'll go into the first one.
If you feel like privacy is no longer a right in the UK, do this one thing. The UK is entering a new era of digital authoritarianism. Keir Starmer is considering a mandatory digital ID scheme called BritCard that would make us all reliant on a digital pass to go about our daily lives. Introducing this in Britain would fundamentally change the nature of our relationship with the state, eroding our rights and freedoms. And people in marginalised, vulnerable and minority groups are more likely to have reduced access to online services, particularly is a requirement. It's been just 1 week since we've launched our petition calling on the government to reject these plans, and already over 20,000 people have signed it. We can win this fight again, but only if we do it together. If thousands of us sign this petition, we can make Starmer reject the BritCard proposal. I'll put the link for the petition in our bio. Sign, share, and let's build a movement to stop digital ID.
This will have to come to pass, so don't worry about her talking about signing shit.
The G20 is over, but what you haven't heard is what was said by the unelected boss of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. She said we need digital public infrastructures. What does she mean? Well, it's rather like the digital passport that Tony Blair was talking about. Already in the EU, they've got a trial going on in France and Germany. They want an EU-wide digital ID backed up by a central bank digital currency, and she now wants this to go global. And I want the British government to say, we want no part of it. Imagine that, a global database that could fall into the hands of bad actors and our lives be completely controlled. I want the British government to say no.
Oh. Haha. And the final one.
What's required for global digital cooperation? Antonio, or whoever wrote this, explains that it requires having a set of shared goals. Lo and behold, the SDGs are literally highlighted in blue. Antonio then stresses that we must fully digitize the remaining 2.7 billion people ASAP. Incredibly, he seems to acknowledge that not everyone wants to be a part of this system.
Yeah, we don't want to be put to death.
Demand pull is also needed, and that this is where the public sector can play a role. He explains that they can do this by making things like digital ID mandatory to access public health services. Antonio includes, quote, schools and cultural services in this list, which begs the question of whether you'll eventually need to show a digital ID to get an education or practice your religion. Knowing Antonio, the answer is probably yes.
Okay.
What's required for...
So that's that and that. We're going to some scriptures. And one of the main one. Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. A lot of people going around this earth thinking they are free. There's no freedom here. We are all slaves. You understand? We are all slaved, and we are all in slavery. We have a passport. We have a birth certificate. We have a SIN card. We are all slaves. You understand? But now they want to imprint this thing on us. They want to put this on us. Okay. A mark that will tell you you are a slave completely, forever, in their system. But only Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai can save us from this. Okay. Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And this will be a temptation. It will be easy to take it, right? But then you lose your soul, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So it's a trial. You understand? So you have to have patience to overcome this thing that is coming upon the earth. Revelation 2 and 3. Start at 2. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. So all the churches that you see around, these Christian churches, you understand, they are going around talking about apostles this, apostle that. Okay. And as born and as patient, and for my name's sake has labored and has not fainted. So this is going into all the apostles of the GMS, right? While laboring for us, you know, and teaching us this truth. And they have not fainted. They have stood up to everything that has come against. All the others are falling down, but they are stand up. They have kept the same doctrine right throughout, while the others keep flip-flopping, changing all kind of shit because they are taking bag. James 5 and 10. They are taking the bag, you know. James 5 and 10. Take my brethren the prophets, who have spoken in the name of Yahweh, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. So they have been suffering and been afflicted, and they have been patient. Okay. So hold on strong. You understand? Be patient. Have faith. Okay. It's very important. So we give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Shalom to the apostles. Shalom to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom.